welcome to the program. Thank you, Marcia, for wheeling me in. How are you? Good to be with you. Thanks. It's the Vam Dam Show. Let me explain what's going on here. I am a rogue member of the school committee. That's not true. That's not true. I'm not a member of the school committee. I don't know really how to solve that problem. I think if we had less kids, we'd have less problems in the school, but can't control that apparently. So, whatever. Anyway, that's not the point. For those of you that are familiar with this program, I've been doing the radio. I do a radio show every weekday. I have for 30 years. Way back in the early 90s with local station, Boston Providence Station. I did their morning show for 4 hours every morning, I know. And then station got sold, but we stayed with the new owners, and I was with them for a long time. Then in around 2014, I went into podcasting because everybody told me that that was the wave of the future. I said, I don't think so, and I was right. I'm also on syndicated radio stations across the country. But once a week, I come in here to this TV studio to do the TV version, which is like different because there's no bells and whistles, there's no music, there's no interviews. It's just me talking, and that's pretty much it. So if you want to hook up and follow the shows, there's over 2,000 episodes of this program because we do them every weekday. You can binge listen to that until you die, pretty much. I'm not suggesting that be the case. I'm just saying. So check that out. It's newenglandbroadcasting.com, or you can do ronvandam.com. Those are many ways, or just Google the whole deal. Well, welcome to the show. How are you? Good to be with you. Yeah, with all the horrible things that are going on around us the past 2 years with that pandemic thing, are you aware of that? Did you hear about that? Coming to an end feels like, looks like, and then we dump ourselves into this global, horrible situation. And so you need a little bit of get your head out of that. There are people that talk about that analyze that. You can watch those shows and listen to that commentary. But here, we try to just get our heads away from that because as a human being, you can't do that. All right. So thanks. Okay. Any questions? No. Fine. Where are we going to start? All right. I donate to charities every year, the ones that I think are important enough or have affected me in my personal life in some way, shape, or form. I made a donation to, I'm going to put some glasses on now because that way I look smarter. Doesn't give me more hair, it just makes me look smarter. Wish it did both. I donated to the National Cancer Research Center. There's so many different factions of that donation for cancer research, but I did that particular one. And every once in a while, they'll send me mail to my home asking me to donate again, to which I respond, I just did. So now I feel like, and it's not just that, it's every charity that I've ever donated gives them a license to climb up upon my ass and bother me. Some of them even want me to give them my credit card numbers so that they can monthly take money out of my account. That's under the category of a little too far, okay? I will donate when I feel like it. Other than that, it's really not nice to bother me for money. So here is the newest ploy that I got in the mail, which kind of upset me. And I hope you don't think less of me or at least any less of me than you do already. This is a check to me in the mail. Now, you get this junk mail and they have phony checks. You know, we see that all the time. This is a real check, and I will show it to you, kids. There you go. I was trying to make, there you, can you see that? Yeah, there you go. It's got my name on it. That's a real check. It says in the, see, it's for $1.95. Can you spare it? It's a real check. It's cashable. It's for $1.95. It would take me more gas to drive to the bank than it would the value of this check. It upset me. You're asking me for money, yet you're sending to millions and millions and millions of people $1.95. You've just mailed out like $10 million. And now you're going to people saying, will you donate to us? Why didn't you just keep the money? You had it all the time. Sorry for shouting. I'm just shouting so that they can hear me. To the order of and the bearer, and it's got my name, $1.95. It just showed it to you. Now, over here, after the check, they sent me a little letter. It's right there. Yeah. And it explains why they're doing this. And here is what it says. I'm going to read it verbatim. Otherwise, I would not have put my glasses on. I would have kept them off. Dear Mr. Van Dam, that's me. I've attached a $1.95 check made payable to you. I understand that. Believe me, sending checks out is the last thing I wanted to do. But our 2022 annual fundraiser is the single most important fundraiser of the year to support our fight against cancer. Okay, fine. If it's the last thing you wanted to do, then why'd you do it? Are we down to that? Are we down to the last thing that we can do? And I'll continue reading. That's why I've sent you the attached check for $1.95 to grab your attention and hopefully convince you to return the $1.95 check to us, along with your donation check for $10 or more. Okay. Then it goes on to explain what the donations go to and all that. Now, listen to me. This to me is insulting. I'm sorry. This is insulting. This is a marketing thing. It has nothing to do with cancer research. This is a marketing ploy to inflict as much guilt upon me as they possibly can. It makes me feel like, what do you think, I'm stupid? You're sending me a check for $1.95, and then you say in the letter below the check, I'm not doing this because I want to. It's the only way. We're going to manipulate you and make you feel guilty. Donation by manipulation. Well, let me tell you something. Bunky, don't play that game. I don't get manipulated into doing things. I'm married. I've been there, done that. Talk about being manipulated. and no way out. It's awful. Then it says further down, the $1.95 check is real. You could put this letter aside, cash the check, and forget all about our important laboratory research. But what I really hope you do is return the $1.95 check along with your donation of $10 or more. Okay, I'm not a nasty person. I am not going to go to the bank and cash a check for $1.95. If I did, the tellers at the bank would tar and feather me or laugh their asses off. So I'm not cashing a check for $1.95, no matter who it's from, okay? I'm not that horrible that I would cash a check for $1.95 and just go about my business. That would be terrible too. So what's the next best thing? Feature it on my radio program, and that's what I did. I'm not cashing it. I'm not going to tear it up. I'm not going to send it back to you either, because you need to learn a lesson. Don't send $1.95 out to millions and millions and millions of people and then ask for money. It makes no sense. All right, that's fine. I don't, I mean, donating is important. It's how things get done through individual donations. I get that. But at the same time, that's a bridge too far. It's a bridge too far. The March of Dimes, a fine organization, does the same thing. Every other month, they will send me in the mail 3 dimes, scotch taped to a piece of paper, and they mail it to me, and they say, "Won't you donate?" It's our annual fund drive, which takes place every other month. It's your every other month fund drive is what that is. I love you. I've donated to you in the past. I'll continue to do it at my leisure. But don't send me stuff. Don't send me money in the mail and then ask me for money. It makes no sense. Address labels. I mean, okay. Sending me money in the mail to make me send money to you? You're playing with me. You're playing on my guilt. You're trying to manipulate me. And as I said, Ron, don't play those games. Okay, let's move on. Are you having a good time, by the way? Is this stimulating you in any way, shape, or form? Am I holding you up from your dinner or something? Is there something you have to do? If there is, just go do it. I don't care. All right. There's a commercial on television, and it's for Progressive auto insurance. Most of those Progressive auto insurance, I can't even talk anymore. What's even the point? Most of those Progressive auto insurance commercials have nothing to do with auto insurance. They've got one, they just try to be funny, and then when the commercial's over, you don't really know what the product was. There's an older guy and a middle-aged son, I guess, and the son is inept, totally inept. They're in a clothing store in a mall or something, and the guy's trying on pants, and the father's standing. His middle-aged son is trying on pants in the changing room there in the dressing room. And the father says, "You got the pants on yet?" And he says, "Dad, this looks stupid." He says, "Oh, come on out, let me take a look at them." The guy walks out with the pants on, and the father says, "Now that's a good-looking pair of pants," and that's the end of the commercial. What the hell does that have to do with auto insurance? I don't know. Anyway, in the commercial, the middle-aged kid says to his father, "You know, I really don't want to do this. You know how many people have tried on these pants? And, you know, all of a sudden, this little bulb goes off in my head." And it's like, yeah, you're right. If the point of this commercial was to sell me auto insurance, you failed miserably. If the point of the commercial was to alert me that when you try on pants in a clothing store, in a changing room, you're putting your crotch where dozens of other people have landed their crotch as well. These pants are not washed between every try-on by a customer. No, they go back on the hanger, and either you bring those pants home because you bought them, or you're trying. So in other words, someone else was in those pants. And that's, you know, someone else wearing a shirt, okay, maybe. Someone else wearing a hat, ew, but all right, maybe. Somebody else in my pants, no. I've drawn the line again. And then I started thinking, I'm never going to go to a mall ever again in a clothing store and try on pants, because I want a complete listing of the people that put their crotch in these pants. It's a problem. It's the same reason I don't go bowling. There's a number of reasons why I don't go bowling. I'm not into it. Some of you love to bowl. God love you. Bowl away. Doesn't bother me. We don't cross paths, because I'm not going into a bowling alley. The few times that I have, I've had a problem with the shoes. There's a person behind this counter, and behind the person behind the counter are cubby holes of all different sizes of shoes for men and women. It's like a rental shoe store back there behind the counter. And you walk in and you say, "I want a bowl." And the person behind the counter says, "You can't bowl wearing those shoes. What's wrong with these shoes? You can't wear them. You can't. You have to wear one of our shoes." And there's a shoe rental fee of $5,000. I don't know. I don't even know what the fee is anymore. I have no idea. So they say to me, "What size shoe are you?" And I say, "I don't know. What size pants are you?" I mean, why are you asking me these personal questions? There are two things you don't ask a woman: her age and her shoe size. Well, yeah. Anyway, so I say I'm an 11 and a half, and the guy turns around and he gives me some shoes, and I said, "Well, weren't like thousands of other people wearing these shoes? They're dirty, sweaty feet running up and down a bowling alley and walking around, and I don't know where these people have been. They could have had foot fungus or some type of STD in their feet, which I guess would be an FTD. I don't know what's going on with that." And the guy, he's a guy. He says, "Don't worry about it. We put talcum powder in the shoes." Oh, I did not know that. Isn't talcum powder the stuff that Johnson & Johnson is being sued for because they used to shake it into people's crotches and they got some type of crotch cancer there? Or wasn't that a problem? Aren't they being sued for that? So, like, why would I trust that stuff in my shoe? So I don't go bowling for that very reason. There's other reasons I don't go bowling, but I don't have to get into that because the shoe thing is enough, to be honest with you. It really is. The other reason I go bowling is now they have the technology. There's a big screen above your alley, where you're bowling, and it has a score on it so that everybody can see just how much you suck at bowling. It's like a shaming thing. Pay me a lot of money, throw the ball down the aisle, and wear our communal shoes with talcum powder in it, and then we'll broadcast how bad you are at this. It's a package deal, I suppose. I think back, I don't know what year it was. I think it was 2009 or something like that. I was with the radio station, and the sponsors, the commercial sponsors, every once in a while would pay us to do our shows from their store. And thusly, customers would come in because, they listened to the show, and they would come into the store, and we would do a remote broadcast from there. They were not fun things to do, but we did them anyway because that's how we made a lot of money. One of the, and I'm going to say this as nice as possible. What the hell? One of the stores was the Salvation Army store. Now, I like the Salvation Army. I've gone to many of their concerts around Christmas. Very, very nice. They're good people. They do incredibly great things. Those that can't afford various items in life, like clothing and sometimes household goods, things like that, they make this very affordable, and it's just wonderful. It's the way things should be. I was all for it, and I still am. So we set up a little table with all the equipment and the microphones and all that, and we're sitting in the Salvation Army store at a nearby location. And there we are, we're going at it. And then toward the end of the show, we have set up an interview with the general manager of this particular location of the Salvation Army store. And she's a lovely lady, lovely person as I recall. It's a while ago, so this is the best I recall. So she comes over there, she's sitting down at the table with me, she has a microphone, I'm interviewing her, and I'm saying very honestly. I mean, sometimes you do a lot of bull talk, when you're trying to make the sponsor sound wonderful, but they're really not. It's just that they're paying you a lot of money to be there, so you do it anyway. It's part of the deal. It's part of the job. But here I really this is a fantastic place. This is really, there were shoppers as we were doing the show, saying hello and looking on the racks, some of them leaving with with some great deals on clothing. And I thought, well, and it was good looking stuff. It's a good looking store. Did a nice job, nice and clean and wonderful. And I'm doing an honest interview. Like, this is great. Life should be like this. This is wonderful. And I said, yeah. Well, I said, well, what's the process? How does this happen? She says, well, people bring in the clothing that they don't want, and we take it in. As long as it's not ripped or damaged, we take it in, and we put them on the racks in the various locations in the store. And the customers come in, and they buy them, and they take them home. So, no, that's fantastic. And I assume that they're all washed and clean before they go on the rack. And she looks at me all of a sudden in like an unfavorable manner. And she says, no, not necessarily, no. We don't wash the clothes. We depend on those who donate to do that. We don't. We just put it on the rack, make sure it looks okay. Oh, I see. So, okay. So this is clothes that people have worn many, many, many times and just took it off their bodies and said, here. That's not what I said. I dropped it at that point. I just dropped it. I knew I have enough of a filter to realize, don't go there, Ron. Just leave it alone. But as I left that remote, I was saying to myself, ew. Now, if it's a coat or something, it's still ew. I mean, I don't know people. You may not know it from looking at me, but my closeness and trust of good, clean fellowship is non-existent in my life. People have to earn their trust with me. I don't necessarily give it out willy-nilly, and I don't know what willy-nilly means. I don't know who Willie is, and I don't know what nilly is and what it has to do with Willie. Actually, I do know what Willie is, but let's not go there. So, I know, it was just a strange, situation. I'm seeing a pattern here, and the message is, wash your damn clothes. I mean, God. I mean, nothing's happened to me in all these years of being alive. I've gone to department stores and tried on pants many times, and I wasn't severely hospitalized because of something I picked up in the communal pants category. So I guess it's all right, but it's just odd. It's like brushing your teeth with somebody else's toothbrush. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're married to the person with the toothbrush, or they are a sexual faction in your life, we can work around it. But otherwise, I don't think so. My first rude awakening into a major change was a couple of days ago. I went into the Dollar Tree store, which I call the dollar store. Everybody does. They have various names for them: dollar this, dollar that. It's a dollar. Here's your dollar. Dollar Tree, Dollar Shoe, Dollar General. They're all over the place. Golden dollars, golden shower. I don't know. So I walked into the Dollar Tree store, and I picked out two items. I had a measuring cup for $1, which is very, very nice, and a loaf of bread was $1. And I walk up to the register. Actually, no, I didn't get the bread that time. I do like the Dollar Tree bread. Okay, there were two items, $1. So I walk up to the register, and I have $2 bills out and some change just in case there's tax. And she looks at me and she says, "That'll be $2.50 plus tax." I said, "No." And I try to say, "This is the Dollar Tree, right?" She says, "Yes, our prices have gone up from $1 to $1.25. Oh my God. That's a 25% increase. Wow. That's like, wow. Now, of course, we're not cheap. It's still $1.25 is still a very, very good deal. But it was the thing. It was just a mental change that would have to go on in my head. And then I said to the lady behind the counter something that I swore I would never say to anybody that worked at a dollar store if there was a price increase, but I said it. Anyway, I gave her the money and I said, "I guess you're going to have to change the name of the store to the $1.25 store, and she didn't laugh. And I realized why. Every single customer that day in that dollar store said the same thing to her. Every single customer. It was the joke of the day. Oh, now you're going to have to change the name to the $1.25 store. Oh, they must have heard that 1,000 times. And I felt bad for the clerk. Yeah, $1.25. I guess I'll get used to it. I don't know. You know, I live in New England, and there's one thing I'm really sick of. Every time I do an interview with somebody that does not live in New England, which is very frequently, they always say to me, "Hey, Ron, can you send me some New England clam chowder?" And I'm getting kind of sick of that. I think we're only known for our soup, and that's pathetic. Really, I mean, Maine has lobster. We have lobster too, but Maine lobster is like, that's the first part of the sentence. Maine lobster. The only thing worse is Vermont. All they have is maple syrup. That's not a big reason for a state to exist. But New England, the whole New England, can you send me some of that clam chowder? Why, you don't have that? You don't have clam chowder? That's ridiculous. It's just absurd. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. Every once in a while, I'll go up to New Hampshire there, usually in the summer. I'll go up there for a few days just to remind myself that there's more to do in Massachusetts than there is in New Hampshire. And as soon as I drive into New Hampshire, the first thing I see when I'm driving is the license plate, which boldly says, "Live free or die." And I get it, but it's not something I want to see when I'm enjoying a vacation going to New Hampshire. It's not a, why are their license plates a death threat? I mean, it's just, come on, kids, we're going to go camping. Look what it says on that car. Live free or die. What do you think, kids? I mean, can it at least be multiple choice? Live free, die, or suffer a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what the third choice would be. But it's just, don't put that on a license plate. Can't you do something else on the license plate, like anything else? I don't want to drive and then be constantly reminded of my choices if it were to come to something horrible. It's just, don't do that. It's not a pleasant thing. New Jersey is the Garden State. That's nice. There's a Granite State. I don't know. I think Rhode Island is the Ocean State or something. Is that right? Or is that, I'm confusing that with Ocean State Job Lot. I don't know what Massachusetts is. I don't even care. But that's, I mean, those are nice things, you know. I think there's a Show Me State. It's interesting. You can show me. I'm not sure I want to see it. All right, I'm just about out of time. That's about it. Thanks for hanging out and, you know, keeping it light. You know, we all are in the same boat, obviously, and you take care of yourselves. And until next week, when I believe I'll be here with a brand new show, I wish you peace. Listen to the podcast and the radio programs every single weekday, a new show on NewEnglandBroadcasting.com or RonVanDam.com. Until then, you take care. Wheel me out, Caroline.